Right. Thank you all for being here. I know it's almost end of the day, so it's kind of hard. But thank you all for being here. I know this is a bit of a depressing title, but I will assure you I will end it with a positive note. My name is Herdjie. I'm the co-founder of Lucky Cat Studios that makes mobile games with a "what would Nintendo do" philosophy. Herna, my brother, he's been creating games pretty much his whole life, and since we were younger, we talked about starting a game studio together. But right before Christmas 2014, unfortunately, I was struck with a cardiac arrest. And I'm super lucky to be alive and be standing here and being able to this story. So once I got out of the hospital, I started talking again with my brother and saying, let's just do this. You know, I was super euphoric. I thought we have nothing to lose in life. Let's just start a game studio. So we started in 2015. We released over 10 mobile games now. We had our most profitable year last year. We were selected by Apple as one of the most promising indie developers. And this is definitely a check on my list. We had Tim Cook in our office in June 2018, which was crazy. All right, so that's a bit of Lucky Cat. Let's talk about the state of the market for indies. Seeing more and more quality games coming out. The tools are easy to use, so we're seeing more quality games. And it's no surprise that platforms like Apple and Google want to feature of these games. And we've seen that with the change in iOS 10, where you have a Today tab now and a Games tab showing off way more content than before. So this can affect the indie developer who is more reliant on these features. Though I must say that Apple is actually one of the best or the best supporter of indie developers. So less exposure of platforms means you have to do more marketing efforts on your own. And next to that, the last thing is you need to optimize your game more and more before a global launch because you want to maximize the potential of each user who comes into your game. Now, in general, we could say that we mobile or we indie developers, we are pretty bad at doing our own marketing. And it's the competition is here, bigger companies having bigger budgets. We all are competing for the same users, for the same installs. So that's quite depressing. And the question then is mobile indie dead for 2019? I first want to talk a little bit about what kind of mobile marketing efforts you can do with a low budget. So I want to talk about creating a community. I have a case study from a friend. The studio is called Neutronized. You can maybe work with an intellectual property. I call that a piggyback strategy. You're basically riding the wave of a well-known status of that intellectual, and you could obviously do traditional mobile advertising, but it requires money, obviously. But there's tricks maybe to use to do that with a lower budget. So this game, Super Cattails 2, it's done by Neutronized, a very cool indie developer from Italy. And Neutronized released a couple of indie devlogs before launching the game, and I think it's a super good way if there's any demand for a sequel of Super Cattails 1. And making these videos, he has obviously an engaged audience, and he has now over 5K subscribers in a short period. And obviously it's climbing with each update he's releasing. And having it all centralized on one platform, I think it's a perfect way to grow your brand or app even further. And remember, these platforms like YouTube or Discord, it's free, $0, and you can get $0 installs. Working with IPs, that's something that we we have a lot of experience with at Lucky Cat. So we started our first game ever we've made. It's called Nomcat, and basically Nomcat is a super simple game where you tap and hold to eat fish and release to avoid the bombs. And when we were designing or making the game, we were thinking about, okay, how are we gonna do marketing with this game? So we came up with a strategy to work with all the celebrity internet cats. And my job was to reach out to internet cats. So I started reaching out to Grumpy Cat, Garfield, you name it, all the big celebrity internet cats. But obviously didn't know about Lucky Cat, so they said no. And once when I was looking further, there were other internet cats which also have 1 million Facebook likes, as opposed to 10 like Grumpy Cat, but it's still 1 million likes. So if you collect all of them, you still have an enormous amount of reach. And the good thing about these internet cats is that they were much more easy approachable than these other cat managers. They just know they want to have a high minimum upfront. So yeah, they like the game. They want to promote the game on their Facebook pages. And so once we launched, we were able to get between 15 and 20 million reach on day one. We were able to do 2 million downloads in 2 weeks. And then we figured out that the internet cat world is a very small world, and eventually the bigger internet cats, which I approached first, they started contacting us again, like, guys, we've seen the game, we want actually also in the game. So, you know, Grumpy Cat, Garfield, Neon Cat, they all went straight into Nomcat. And again, what we did, the deal structure was as followed. We made a pixel art version of the cat. We did a revenue share on the in-app purchase, and we had 0 upfront dollars investment. At the end of 2017, we got a message from Zhou. We released Beat Street, and he just loved the game. So, you know, we had experience obviously with working with other IPs. So, and basically he already suggested, I want to have my own character in the game. Let's just do create a character of me and have it as an in-app purchase. We did it right away. This guy has 5 million followers on Twitter and Instagram, and over 10 million likes on Facebook. He is well known for Crank That. I'm not sure if you know that single, but it has over 370 million views on YouTube. I've heard he's again in the news because of some song that got ripped by. So yeah, so that was a fantastic opportunity for us as well, and we got more than 200K downloads just, you know, by him talking about Beat Street. And again, $0 upfront investment. Another way to do it, this is another thing I want to do actually with the audience. Why, let's do a small experiment. Why not, like, if anyone is interested, I would say just try to reach out to YouTube influencers who don't have an A-celebrity status, not like PewDiePie or Markiplier with, you know, millions of subscribers. Why not look at your own content of your game and try to reach, let's say, B-celebrity status influencers who have like 10K subscribers, and see if you can make a deal. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. Let me know if that works, because I think it works. You have $0 upfront investment, and you know, it's a win-win situation. And the other way to do it is, the traditional way of mobile advertising. Obviously, one of the biggest platforms out there. You have Apple Search nowadays, AdMob, Google, and a bunch more networks. A lot of people think that you need a lot of money to invest in user acquisition, but you also have to think this way: like, you do advertisement through these platforms, it also means that you can monetize through these platforms. So you basically can try to balance. If your game makes more than you have to spend, basically you can structure deals with these platforms. Just make sure that you make than you spend. So these guys are very open to customize deals. So just try it, you know. Yeah, long live mobile indie. The reason why I say that is because we move faster than bigger companies. We have more room for experimentation. We should have more appetite for risk. We definitely should. And we don't have angry or managers above us who have to reach KPIs, so we can basically be very creative also on the business side. And this is the optimal situation. You want to make a game that you want to make, but it also needs to be marketable. So try to find that spot. And most of the indie innovation comes from the game side. But nowadays, we should be more focusing on the marketing side. And this is something we actually have seen in the industry with hyper casual. It's not an invention by a big studio. No, it's an invention by small studios who were experimenting with ads. Like a couple years back, didn't know it was possible to have a cost per install less than $1. And by experimenting with ads and trying to reach more people and have a higher conversion rates, it was possible to get installs for less than 50. And again, it was not invented by a big company, by a small team. And thanks to that, we have more mobile gamers than ever. So, long live indie. Thank you.
You've been really good at doing that kind of like guerrilla kind of action, haven't you? That ability to sort of really maximize the kind of the value proposition. Is it because I wonder if part of that is because you've really gone to not low hanging fruit. I think that's the wrong term, but stuff that has good broad appeal, not just kind of not the more traditional niche type of content. You know, so going for sort of music, hip hop kind of stuff, or cats, or whatever else it might be. It's not just a traditional. I'm going to make a 8-bit slide scrolling one game.
Yeah,
it's something that seems to me to be about an audience, not about what we like playing.
Yeah. So as I said, you need to also think about the market. So you need to find that sweet spot. You have your game, and then and you really need to find a balance between those two. And if you don't think about marketing or whether it's marketable, you're actually making a game for yourself, right?
Yeah.
So.
And that's not, then you can pay yourself.
Exactly. You can play all day your own game. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And again, I think it's why I keep, whenever I talk to people or mentor people, it's always who's the audience. You know, who is it for? Yeah. And if you don't start with the audience, you don't know what they need, and therefore you don't know what game.
Exactly.
Yeah. And on that note, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.